Hey y'all, well, today on the channel, we've got mental breakdowns and mental comebacks. That's awesome. We've also got bear tales today, so we got a lot of issues with bears on the trail right now. We're gonna cover all of that, but before I do that, happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there, me included. So without us fathers, right, hey, our sons and daughters wouldn't be the people that they are today. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even be people, right? Because it takes a father to make them people. But it takes a daddy to make them something more than just a person. So anyway, thanks to the fathers and daddies out there. Now let's go ahead and jump into what's going on out there on the trail. So we got Chaplin on the AT. He had gotten off somewhere just around Franklin, and I think he had wrung out everything out of the trail that he wanted on the trail. And he sends in this update.
Randino, this is Chaplain on the 18. Well, I made it from Springer to Franklin and I lost the mental game. But I'm here at Bland. I'm from West Virginia, so it's close to home, and I'm trying again. So pray for me, and we'll see how far we go. I'm back on trail.
So congratulations to him to get back on the trail. The mental aspect of the trail for me is every bit as difficult as the physical aspect of it. So a lot of people get out there and physically they can take it, but mentally they are sick of being wet. They're tired of being cold. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? They're sick of eating junky food and who knows what else. So but in any case, glad he got back on trail. And, you know, if you've had any experiences out there on the trail, particularly on longer hikes, you know, day hikes, obviously, you're going to be back home around your flush toilet and your hot showers in no time. Same thing with a weekend hike. Although weekend hikes, I'm ready to get back home sometimes. But particularly longer hikes. So the lashes I've done, 100 miles or plus, I'm ready to get home, and sometimes if it's raining the whole time, which you know I'm a fair weather hiker, I tend to watch the weather, but if I'm going to be wet more than a couple days out there, I'm probably getting sick and tired of it. So leave a comment down below. Let me know how you do when it comes, if you're a fair weather hiker or not. But let's move on with what's going on with the hikers on the trail. So we got Straps. He is back on the trail after taking off with his family a little bit, and he gives us this update.
Hey Ramdino. Straps here. I'm back on trail. I'm at the Southern Cookie Lady. The weather is raining again this morning. Hopefully it clears up. It's good to be back on trail after 4 zeros and 1 Nero. Unfortunately, OG and Boston are not quite with me. They're still a couple of days behind. They got delayed with the weather. Yeah, hopefully maybe they'll catch up. I'm not sure, but we're still going north because we got to be done by the end of July. So the trail's been in good shape, but lots and lots of mosquitoes here in Massachusetts. So thank you, Ramdino. Have a good week.
So that's actually the Northern Cookie Lady's house up there in Massachusetts. That is an awesome vibe she's got going on there. I remember when I walked into her area there, home, and it's in a giant blueberry patch. Walked in there and she greeted me with a hibiscus lemonade. I can't tell you, that is the best tasting drink I have ever had that's just plain lemonade. Love my Element lemonade, but that was absolutely delicious. So, but she just got a neat vibe there. She'll let you pick blueberries, like work for stay, and she fed me an awesome dinner and let me stay out there in her hangar for free, and it rained cats and dogs that night. So thanks a lot, Cookie Lady. But anyway, that's a really nice place he's got up there. And then Pace Setter and Uncle Bill, they have made it to Harper's Ferry. Congratulations to them, and they are continuing on north. And we got Luscious. He has made it through the Mahusk Notch. Yeah, I know, I butcher them all the time. And he sends in an update.
Hello, Ramdino. Luscious here. As you may notice, I have a little bit of a black eye here. To the contrary of any rumors, I have not gotten in a fight with a bear. I got in a fight with a parked tree. I was just zooming down the trail, saw what seemed to be innocuous blow down evergreen across the bog boards, kind of pushed it aside and walked straight into blowdown number 2, which was a nasty bugger. So watch out, hikers. They are working in pairs now. Here I am at Mahusk Notch. We'll see if it's everything it's been hyped up to be. I'm looking forward to, I don't know, 4-6 hours worth of struggle through this mile. We'll see how it goes. I'll report on the other side.
So that's a great warning. Watch out for those trees that are attacking people in pairs now. But he sent us another update with a great recommendation.
I just finished Mahusk Notch. Took me 2 hours, 45 minutes. And I have 3 observations. One is I used my trekking poles almost the entire time, except when I was in the caves. Found them super useful. Probably a little safer, but to each his own. Nobody talks about how fun Mahusk Notch is. They talk about how hard it is, how long it takes. That was probably the funnest mile on the AT. So you should be looking forward to it. But just set aside enough time during the day. And the other cool thing was how there's this warm wind we have today. It's got to be in the upper 60s, and the caves were super cold. They had this cold air. There's snow and ice still in all the caves, so it was just this cool mix of really cold and really hot, just all mixing together. This was a great day to hike Mahusk Notch. Talk to you again next week.
Thanks a lot, Luscious. All great information out there, particularly for those folks that are coming through right behind you. And then we've got Rabbit. He has made it to Mount Washington. He said the wind was whipping up in the presidentials when he came through there, somewhere around 38 degrees there at Mizpah Hut when he came past there. So 38 with high winds is, I don't know, you tell me what it is, but it's probably, I'm sure it's below freezing in wind chill factor up there. And then Princess Peach, she gave us a check-in. It's been a while for her, so she had a repetitive use injury. She flipped around the Smokies and was in Virginia. Then she came back down to take advantage of better weather in the Smokies. And before she got too far away from it, she had some bear encounters while she was there. As a matter of fact, she had to scare a bear out of the shelter, and then she had other thru hikers coming from a different shelter that came into her shelter running because they had bear issues at that shelter. So we're going to talk about the shelters there in the Smokies and the bears and what's been happening with them here in just a minute. So it's a lot of issues going on with there right now. So she's now flipped back up to Northern Virginia and hopes to be in Harper's Ferry in a few days. And then we've got Fancy Pants. So she had gotten off trail. She had just decided she was done.
Yesterday I got packed up, started hiking, and I was just not feeling it at all. Like I'm done. I'm tired of doing this. My body's tired. I'm tired. Just don't want to do it anymore.
But as a lot of people do that have that mental, I'm not what's called a breakdown, but just a mental, okay, I'm done with it, is a lot of people that have that. She got home and missed the trail too much. And so she decided to get back on trail. She sends in this update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Fancy Pants, Curious George, and Fifi. We're back. I wonder if you can guess where we're updating from. Just a couple words about trail conditions. So far in Maryland, it's been a lot rockier than I expected it to be, and it's also interspersed with mud. There's been a fair amount of that too. But as you can notice, the air here is kind of hazy, and I'm thinking it might be because of the Canadian wildfires. Not sure about that. Can't smell anything, so I don't think it's affecting air quality as far as hiking is concerned. But anyways, the weather for the first 3 days have been has been great. I will say the first 2 days for me, it was a real challenge mentally and physically. I wasn't sure if I was ready to come back. Today's much different though. I'm happy to be back out here and look forward to continuing on.
Thanks, Fancy Pants. Awful glad to see you back out there on the trail. You're one of the best folks that has updated us every week. You give great updates. You include what's going on with yourself and what's going on out there on the trail, so hikers can gain a lot of advantage from what you've got to say out there. She said this week also, outside of her video, that you need to watch the water sources coming through central Virginia there. She indicated that she hasn't seen a lot of water on the trail where she's at. The Pine Knob Shelter has a pipe spring, which is close to Gatling State Park, and water there as well and there's also an outlet. She did say the restrooms are closed, so that is probably there at the near Gatling State Park. There has a backpacker campground there. And they do have restrooms, and I think they have showers too, but it's closed right now. Not sure when that opens back up, but she did say they got water power to recharge, and they also have porta johns there. And then we got Tortoise and Hare. They have made it through the Triple Crown. Unfortunately, they've had to get off, so they have been suffering with a knee injury for a while now, and they've tried to push through that. But unfortunately, when they got to the Triple Crown and going up Dragon's Tooth there, Nobo, that is a tough trip going up, and particularly coming back down to the parking lot there at McAfee Knob. That is a hard down. And downs for me are worse on my knees than ups. And so it was just too much, and he decided the best thing to do is get off trail, go and rehab that knee. And I totally agree with that, because I have known people that have just pushed through the injury, and they've either come off trail permanently or they've made it, but then now they live with either an injury that lasts for months, years, maybe the rest of their life, because they pushed through that and didn't pay attention to their body and get off and rehab it and then get back on, even if they had time to do that, to have a through hike. But for me, you may differ, but a through hike is not worth a repetitive injury that I'm going to carry along with me the rest of my life. You young folks probably got a long time to heal from it, but folks my age, a little longer in the tooth, not so much. So I don't want to go into retirement with a limp forever. So anyway, I think Tortoise and Hare, I think that was a smart decision, and look forward to you getting back on trail whenever you do that. I know that was tough for you to do. Mentally, that was tough for you to do, but I think that was a right call. And then we've got Sonny Jim and Friends. They have hit the 500-mile mark. Congratulations to them, and they sent in this update.
Well, hey there, Ramdino. Sonny Jim here, checking in on June 10th. I just want to give a quick report, and I'm attaching a photo you might want to upload as well. But I just want to let you know that Sonny Jim, Papa Bean, and Four Squares made the 500-mile mark on Friday, heading into Grayson Highland. And today, I'm going to hit the quarter mile mark, the 550. So looking forward to that. Everything's been going good. Trip has been great. People have been wonderful, and we're all happy and healthy right now. Take care.
He said everything is going great there with that group. Everybody's happy, everybody's healthy, and that's the main thing, happy and healthy. Hey, a bad day on the trail is better than a good day in the office, right? So, appreciate that update, Sonny Jim. And then we got OG in Boston, who were hiking with straps. They're not too far behind him. They sent in an update.
Good morning, Ramdino. This video is a little bit late. OG in Boston. We are in Great Barrington, having a cup of coffee at Dunkin' Donuts before we get back on the trail. We stopped here because yesterday was Saturday, and Saturday in Massachusetts means rain. So we're going to try to catch up the straps in a couple of days. Hopefully the weather improves. Thanks a lot. Boston out.
So Great Barrington is probably the biggest city you're going to come into on the no-bow section right when you first come into Massachusetts, or right after this really buggy bog, and right after a big old up and down when you come in. But that is a really great place there to go and get you some town food. I hitched in there, got me at the first grocery store. They had a buffet line and got me some greens and everything. But anyway, that's not too far behind the Cookie Lady, so hopefully if they can get a shuttle, hire somebody with a shuttle to go up and find Straps and kneecap him, and so he has to limp for a while. Not a bad kneecap, just a little bit of a kneecap, and in that way they can catch up to him out there on the trail. Love to see those three getting together. And then we got Metro and AlphaGal. They have made it to New York and passed the 1,400 mile mark, so they got less than 800 miles to go. That is awesome. They sent in an update.
Hey Ramdino, just checking in. We got Metro and AlphaGal here. We're approaching Bear Mountain State Park, and we hit another milestone. 799 miles to go. The miles are just dropping off now. It's crazy. We've had a few straight days of wet and rain and super awful slippery rocks coming in the south part of New York there. However, the sun is shining and the birds are chirping and we are all dried out again, ready to go. So this is good. See you out there.
I see they took the sensible route and they're carrying a piece of cardboard instead of last year we had a guy carrying a log, I believe it was. And then we've also had a couple folks carrying a brick. So they called it bricky. So anyway, cardboard's a whole lot lighter. I hope that piece makes it the whole way. So we're going to get on to the news now. Before we do, hit that subscribe button down below. Love if you go and share this channel with other like-minded folks out there and help me build the community. I do have a calendar link that if you are wanting to get into hiking in the community, then Daisy and I can help you with that. And I've got it broke up into 50-minute segments there. So if you'd like some advice, you need to talk to somebody about, do a virtual pack shakedown or talk to somebody about what it is that, what you need to get ready to hike. And, a lot of people, you can get it off YouTube, but they just want to talk to somebody. I'll be glad to help you with that. If you are my upper tier thru hiker Patreon member, that service is there for you for free. So just let me know you want it. Send me an email. I'll be glad to set up that. And we'll do a virtual meeting, virtual pack shakedown, or whatever other advice you need for those thru hiker level folks in my Patreon account. All right, so let's get on to what's going on the trail with the news out there. So we got Springer Mountain Shelter. It's closed due to bear activity. So of course all the thru hikers are past Springer Mountain because that's the first one you come through. But you got flip-floppers, and subos are nowhere near it now because they just got started. But there may be some flip-floppers around there, and eventually you're going to have some sobo coming through there. So they've shut that down. It's only supposed to be shut down for 14 days. So by the time you see this, it'll probably going to be another week. But I'm sure they're going to take that on an ad hoc basis. If the bears are still around there, they're going to keep that one shut down. And then Whispers, our northern correspondent, he's given us a southern update about what's going on in the Smokies there with the bears. So he said 3 shelters in 3 days have been closed in the Smokies due to aggressive bear incidents. So this makes some section of the AT very long. So I know the first one is Molly's Ridge. So that's the first shelter you come through when you're coming up out of Fontana. I think that's somewhere around 10 miles into your hike, but that's 10 miles straight up. So thru hikers should be through that section, through the Smokies by now, but we got flip-floppers or not. We just heard where Princess Peach, she hiked through there and had some bear problems. So anytime they close those shelters there, it makes it difficult for people because depending on what shelters they close, in the Smokies, you can't stealth camp. You can't camp anywhere but at a shelter. So if there's room in the shelter, you got to stay in the shelter. If there's not room in the shelter, then you can camp around the shelter, but they do have a reservation system. So unless you're a thru hiker, you can't reserve a spot in that hiker. So, unless you're a nobo or a flip-flopper right now, you're not a thru hiker in there. You're a day hiker or a section hiker. Not a day hiker, they're not going to be spending the night there. But you're a section hiker, you can't stay outside of the shelter. You have to stay in the shelter. So, Molly's Ridge is closed. So then that makes the next one Russell Fields Shelter, which is open. And that's at Nobo Mile 181. So that's another 3 miles away. So that gives you roughly 13 miles, again, straight up for your first day in the Smokies if you're coming Nobo. So that can be a hard one, particularly for us folks that are section hikers that don't ever get our trail legs right because we come right off the couch. And then the next no-mow shelter is Spencer Field Shelter, which is only 4 miles away from Russell Field Shelter. And so you're not going to stop there after you've only hiked 4 miles if you stayed at Russell Fields, right? And then the next one is shut down due to bear activity, and that's Derek's Knob. So then the next one open is Siler Bald. So that gives you a 15 or 16 mile day in the Smokies on the southern side of it, heading no-mow. So that is going to give you a long day that, again, is almost all of it straight up. Tough to do. And then you get on by that time you get on the other side of Newfound Gap, which is kind of the apex there coming into the Smokies. The next one that closes is Icewater Shelter, which is after Newfound Gap, but that only gives you an 11-mile day. And plus, once you get on the north side of Newfound Gap, the days get easier because they are, you're mainly going downhill there. So keep that in mind as you're hiking through the Smokies. And then we got the Clyde Smith Shelter there at no-mow mile 371. It's closed. So I think that is in the Roan Mountain, if I'm not mistaken, right before it used to be the Over Mountain Shelter that they tore down, is right before there. But I think that's in the Roan Mountain Highlands. So keep that in mind there. And due to several reports of food conditioned bears in that area, that's why they closed the Clyde Smith Shelter. And then there's also bear reports from the ATC bear activity at the Jenny Knob Shelter, which is no-mow mile 604, where a bear attempted to get in a bear canister, and they were able to scare that bear off. But back over at the Derek Knob Shelter, that one, they couldn't scare the bear away. As a matter of fact, the bear came in and ripped up somebody's pack and their food bag, and so they basically had to bolt out of there with nothing on their backs. I don't know what they did. That's interesting. I need to find out from Princess Peach. Princess Peach, if you're watching us, let me know what the hikers did that came in from that shelter when you were there at Russell Fields. Let me know what they did as far as since they didn't have a pack anymore. And in fact, I have looked at a quick review of the ATC site of their bear reports, and they're pretty much all up and down the trail in North Carolina, Tennessee, and particularly southern and central Virginia. So, guys, the only reason these bears are coming around the shelters and girls is because they're getting conditioned to food, right? Hikers are not practicing leave no trace. They're not putting their food up on the cables or hanging them in the trees. They're not, they're just putting them either in their tent or they're putting them in the shelter. They're not cleaning up after themselves after they spill something. Toiletry items, smell, toothpaste, deodorant. Most people don't wear deodorant, but toothpaste, people have that. All that stuff smells, and if it's spilled food on your pack, you're still getting that on it, right? So get all that stuff, hang it up somehow, get it away from the shelter 100 yards or more so that you're not actually pulling the bears into the shelter there. And for you folks leaving earth sacks or using earth sacks out there, earth sack is not bear proof. Time and time again, I see them defeated by the bears. You got to hang yours up in the tree as well. I know that's kind of the whole point of the earth sack is so you don't have to hang it in a tree, but you do. So the only thing you don't have to hang in a tree is a bear canister. And even the bear canister is probably a good idea because they've defeated bear canisters out there. But they're all up and down the trail. So we've also got the Nolichucky Fair Service. That ends June 15th. So that is today. So today's the last day for the Nolichucky Fair Service. That is the fair service with the whitewater raft there across the Nolichucky that takes the place of the Chestola River that got washed out. That's going to be a year or more before they get that built back and several $1 million to do so. So once that ends today, the ATC does have another alternative for rafting, and it is a self-service raft they have now. So it's a little further upstream for that. They'll be providing rafts up there for you. And so you can use the self-service raft there. I'm not sure how they're getting it back across the river, but be careful of that. It's a little rougher water than what the original crossing was. Your alternative is you can take the death-defying walk. Take your life in your own hands. Watch out for the trucks that are probably not going to stop for you. Low shoulders, and they're flying up there back and forth to get the road rebuilt and the railroad rebuilt upstream of that. So you guys be careful out there. Don't worry about the hike if you decide to not use a shuttle or not do the self-service route. because it still counts. The detour still counts for your thru hiker recognition from the ATC. I'm understanding if you don't make it on that detour, that they're still going to award you posthumously your thru hike. So don't worry about it. You'll still get that certificate that everybody wants if you decide to take that route and you don't make it to Uncle Johnny's. All right, folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we hope to see you out here.